eyes straight through the underground. Yeah, I am awake, hold my face up to the lights. I will be free. Yeah. And yes, I'll take my time, 'cause I don't want what is not mine. Like the heat from an invisible sun, thy will be done. I can make it come together. I'll make it come alive. And it's gonna get a little better. Invisible sun, that will be done. You little monkey, you've escaped into the sky, where I can see you. Yeah, it's all a dream. All your shaking, blaming lies do not faze me. Yeah. And yes, I'll take my time, 'cause I don't want what is not mine. Like the heat.
Welcome. Few eyeballs in here. BJ, good to see you again. And all those that might be listening or will listen. We got a good show for you today. The topic is the countless billions, if not trillions, men have thrown away in the name of love. The name of love for 300 Trebek on their wives and girlfriends. And Rad was guilty of that as well. 1997. I wanted to get, well, it was 96, and before that, and other ladies where we spend money. Going out. Good to see Char from Deutschland. Going out. Going to eat. Going to movies. Buying things. Going on excursions. Buying a sweater for them. Buying perfume. All those things that they want that is never enough, but it is what it is. So we've let a lot of money go out of our pockets in the name of wanting a relationship, wanting a wife, wanting a woman, wanting a fiance, wanting a LTR. And how much would we have earned in interest if it compounded if we didn't spend that kind of money? Mochi, good to see you. ¿Cómo estamos? And that's the reality of life. Men, so this could be a topic of investment even outside of women. Men potentially are pretty minimalistic when we think about it. We don't buy 100 pairs of jeans like women. Well, maybe some guys do, but we should also value money as valuable, that we buy quality items. We don't pay retail apocalyptic prices. We learn how to budget. We learn how to minimize. We learn how to maximize value for the least amount possible. That's also what men need to understand. They need to understand how money works and how it can work for you. It doesn't work for you when you're trying to win the love of, good to see Stephen, of a woman or a relationship or a spouse. I always remember in my marriage, 1996, I proposed 28 years ago. I've honestly spent $2 million on women. That's not, yeah, I would say I would probably be seven figures. I mean, what I did. But think about this. I bought a $3,500 ring, which is a half carat gold princess cut. That ring today would probably be about 10 to 12,000. We also bought furniture that she wanted, chairs and couches to furnish that apartment that she wanted. All in all, I probably, with the ring, the honeymoon, all of the knickknacks, probably 15 grand minimum. That doesn't include getting the apartment, the deposit, the car, and dealing with the car and everything. That was almost 30 years ago. So today, the ring's going to be more expensive. Although today I'd buy a cubic zirconia and not tell them anything, or a lab-grown diamond. They're so stupid, anyways. Megatron's in the house. Good to see you. But we have spent a lot of money hoping, wishing, and praying that would work out, that we'd have an amazing relationship, that there would be a common bond. And in the end, in my case, all the money I spent, I mean, I bought pearl earrings. The first anniversary was like pearl earrings and a pearl bracelet from Tiffany's. No, that was for the 10-year. Diamond earrings. And then I upgraded diamond earrings because she wanted them bigger. And I thought, maybe that'll give, maybe that'll help out. And as well as everybody knows, when you spend money to try to have be validated by someone, that could be your kids, that could be your spouse, whatever. It never works out, right? It never works out. But we have to learn the hard way. And I was young, 27. I didn't know. We did the honeymoon the way she wanted to. And I enjoyed the honeymoon. Went to Hawaii. Spent a week there. Never been. So that was good. But the amount of money we have spent over and over and over. I remember it was Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, then Mother's Day, then her birthday, then anniversary, then Christmas. It's like 7 different deals, and you start running out of ideas, and then you start buying more bigger things and different things. Then she wants this. She wants a bigger car. Then she wants an SUV. Luckily, I didn't get trapped in when she wanted the Land Rover. $90,000 in 2002 for a Land Rover. Hell no. Good to see WHO. Appreciate you here. But we have wasted a lot of money, and every one of you has a story of what you spent money on for a woman, hopefully to get her to, wink your way or go your way, or, just you want to do it for the good of you and make her happy and so forth. We wasted a lot of mother effing money. We truly have. I keep thinking, what if I would have never got married? If I wouldn't be here talking to you, if that was the case. Maybe I'd be in the chat. But what if I took that money and invested it in the last 30 years? Where would I be today? However, as a young 24-year-old that got married, I didn't know a lot. I was learning about life as well. I mean, I knew quite a bit, but, I never had a mortgage. I never had kids. I didn't really understand how healthcare and premiums and all that worked through. And so we have to learn all that stuff. Stephen, I naively gave low-quality women a high-quality lifestyle, jewelry, vacations, gifts, vehicles, home, anything they wanted. When I look back, I wanted to pound my head against. It's kind of embarrassing if you think about everything we did to potentially sway somebody our way. It's kind of embarrassing, but we were young, right? We were learning this. And so those young guys that are listening, listen to these older guys that went through it. Project AC, good to see you, brother. Company of men and good boys. Well said. Good to have you back. If they care, they want you to invest every available penny so you wouldn't have to work so hard and long. Now, the positive part of my ex-wife was she wasn't a big spender of the joint money. She was pretty good. She also worked. She had her own little income stream, and that went into her account for her, haircuts and whatever. She wanted to buy a new picnic set was 3 or 4 times a month, but whatever. But there are some women that literally destroy men, and they have no idea. And these men blindly give them the checkbook, the checking account. They don't really look at what's going on. I know tons that are just siphoning every month. The guy has no idea. If they care, they want you to invest every available penny. Yep, well said. I think I just read that. Joseph Hoffman's back. Appreciate you being here. They are a waste most of the time. It's just, what are you going to do when you know this information that you really can't buy your way into a situation that's going to be advantageous for you in the long run? We shouldn't spend any money on the 304s, Mochi. Riff Rage is back. Good to see you. What up to you? Good afternoon from NYC to all the Nawalts, unicorns, and post-wall 304s. Listen to Rad, boys. All gals, love them. Love them options. And remember, it's just your turn. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? It's just your turn. I mean, if a man could understand that and grasp that, hey, you know what? Why don't we just take the minute at a time? I doubt if tomorrow, Chad can slide in her social media. It could happen. She could get bored, run off, get back on Tinder. But what if you just took, you know what, until she's, we're having a little bit of fun until she's done, great. Where would men be if they had that mentality? Well, they wouldn't waste money because they know it's very temporary. If anything, they're going to go and eat at the budget 2-for-1s or whatever, or get a pizza instead of spending money at Mastro's. They're not going to buy a bunch of bullshit, right? They're going to realize it's just their turn. They can't fight it. They just have to understand it. She's going to get bored eventually. 98% of women, I'm not talking about the 1% to 2%. I always give a 1% to 2% buffer. So if you're a 1% to 2% listening to it, pat yourself on the back. You're probably a good person. Slam says, I have always paid the rent the whole 5 years I lived with my ex. That's what we do. Good to see you, Slam. Check out Slam's channel. He's got some good stuff. Redneck Reefer, what's up to you, brother? Good to have you back in here. Buying versus leasing. You're not buying the box, you're leasing it. So don't dump. There you go. That's got to be I wish I would have known in 1996. She's not yours, it's just your turn. I wish I would have known that women change their mind very frequently. I wish I would have known that a woman wants an alpha and a beta all in one. I wish I would have known that, but I didn't. I had to learn that. And that's okay. Fortunately, I was able to rebound and life has improved. And, it's funny. I watch a lot of these channels that pop up on my YouTube, and there's a guy, and there's always this men's channel that's like huge. I've never heard about it. He's talking about divorce. He's playing divorce court clips. If anybody's seen the divorce court movie, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Someone should put a link up there. If I didn't pay the rent, I would have had a place to live. I wouldn't have had a place to live. I think we are all like that. They're definitely, you have to look at women as not a return on investment, unfortunately. Now, maybe there's the 1% to 2% that you do. The 98% are not, they're a waste of money. They're a money pit. They're a garbage can when it comes to whatever you put in, you're not getting back out. Right? So we understand this and we accept it. And we don't fight against it. We just realize it. This is what it is. A woman loves material resources. A woman loves to be validated with financial type of resources. Trips, jewelry, expensive dinners, expensive wines, expensive, you name it, paying for their nails, anything. So anyhow, I'm watching some of these videos and I love reading the comments. I've never seen a channel like this. It was a black guy that has this big channel. Probably 500,000 subscribers. And I didn't really look at his channel. I just looked at, this video. It was like 15 minutes, different clips of Divorce Court, which is a massively scary movie. If you're thinking about getting married, I would watch that. And how the judge, is God. They're like, there's only one word for every judge has a middle name. It's God. They can tell you if that prenup is real, if they're going to allow that prenup, regardless of how much money you spent, whatever you've done. They decide. They are the kings when it comes to laying it out for men. They tell men and women what to do, and it's usually against the man. But anyhow, long story short, I'm reading the comments, and you're just reading, guys, I'm 64. I had $3 million in the bank. I'm living out of my car. I was taken for everything. I don't know how I'm going to get back. You know, it's just story after story of this investment into women and how it just didn't go according to plan. Seeing Otto says, I'd hate to add up what my marriage cost me, but never get those 20 years back. Well said, brother. The time is your most expensive commodity and asset that you have. My ex took thousands of dollars and offered little other than cooking and sex. And was that frequent? Probably not, right, Slam? The divorce court movie was amazing. It's an unregulated industry, so it's naturally morphed into a massive scam. They are financial vampires that are thirsty. Yeah, and where is the family court within the Constitution? There's a criminal aspect and there's a civil aspect. Is it civil? Is it criminal? Where does it fit? It's like traffic court. Project says, I accept an invention. Rest in peace, brother. Always used to say, don't get married. Well said. PH is back. A woman's actual value is inversely proportional to what she demands in material goods from you. Remember going out on a date with a gal about 4 years ago. I liked her. She was a good looking. We had some good frolicking in the hay, but she was always all about money. You can't handle me. I don't want to handle you like that. You're a money pit. We're having fun as it is, and that's it. Chris Mitchell, the Emperor, is greeting us again. Check out Chris's channel. Good times. Good to see you, brother. It's of the devil, the courts in general. Sure. But a lot of us would not be here without signing a marriage license. And a lot of us have built back what we lost. A lot of us are struggling to build that back. A lot of us are still dealing with the repercussions of spending money, spending time, spending resources, energy, attention, and we're learning about it. It's when I see these guys that run back to the plantation, like the red pill guru Gregory and many others that just have not learned. If you don't learn, again, the cliche, if you touch a hot stove, you most likely won't touch a hot stove again. Simple as that. But men don't understand. Men fall prey to the curiosity and the fantasy of what the next relationship, the next short-haired woman that's 10 years younger is going to bring. Oh, she's different. She's not like that. Her love's not like the last love. Our love is different. Gone with John's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Check out John's channel. Always putting out good content. He's been growing lately. Pressure washing. Getting rid of those hornets. The worst part is after spending a fortune during the relationship, you think she would acknowledge that and the divorce on good terms. Nope. You are looking at alimony, child support, and settlement. I remember when we closed on our marital house. We sold the house and we closed on it. We both got our proceeds, which was quite significant. And I looked at her in the parking lot. I said, we wouldn't be here without me. And she's like, or me. She's like, okay. Now, I worked my ass off so you could live in that house after I was kicked out for 2 years. And it is what it is. But again, will they acknowledge it? No. Will they take accountability for it? No. She always put out because she was taking my money and lying about her addiction to booze and pills. Interesting. Yeah, you went through a lot, Slam. Slam should do a story about that on his channel. After spending boatloads on my ex, my divorce settlement was $250K, not counting my lawyers. I must say that people know that just my lawyer fees were enough to buy a brand new Porsche Carrera 4S Turbo. That's just the fees of the lawyer. That's the legal fee. That doesn't include the custody I paid or what we divided or what I lost in time dealing with all that. I'm talking 7 figures. Brad, taking a break, working at home today. How's tricks? Good to see you, brother. Today it's a little rainy. It's weird. The weather was great this morning. I went and worked out, went to the sauna. That's what it is. These men only suffer, half men who are married, but quartered men with girlfriends or chasing ladies via dating. Better to cultivate peace, quiet, freedom, and choose excellence. Yes, well said, brother. Laying it down to Chinatown. The death of this latest 6-year-old boy is the product of the failed family court. Yes, it's disgusting. Anytime that happens to a young boy, a young child. There's John's channel. Appreciate you putting that up there, brother. But think about what you can do now. Now that we know what we've been through, those that have been through it or haven't been through it, but you've been through it, what will you spend your money on? We are more and more and more prudent with the dollars we have in our bank account than we've ever been. Once the woman's out, now we realize, okay, I don't need this much to live on. I don't need to waste it on stupid stuff. I don't need to waste it ever again on getting a woman to like me or want, understand that. I understand the return on investment is not there. It's negative. It's like buying treasury bills right now. Like, it's negative. Who would do that? Pet my monkey. We do like it when they do pet our monkeys, but it comes with risks and it comes with very little rewards. Why is divorce so expensive? Because it's worth it. Yes. But you think about it. I did the divorce statistics the other day. Men that are in their 40s and 50s, late 40s, early 50s, they say it takes 10 years to bounce back. 10 years from a divorce. So let's say you get married at age 40. By the time you're 50, you've kind of recovered. You've got, another 15 years to work hard, build it up, and you built it up over the last 10 years. Yeah, you probably have, if you went through a divorce, you probably have given a significant amount of money away in alimony and custody and all that. But by 10 years, you're good. Can you imagine a 60-year-old guy? And I'm reading these comments on that one video, and it's just out of control. How desperate. Kids are out of the house. They were taken for everything. And they find out later that the wife for 30 years was siphoning off all this money. And the court said, that's her money. You can't touch it. It's just stories after stories of men getting fleeced. But is it men's fault? Sure. My ex-brother has barely reached out as my boy's uncles, so it's understandable if we're not buds. Yep. Blood is thicker than water, brother. She allowed me to pay for 2 years, so I had to pay her $5,000 a month for 2 years. Then just a few months ago, she reached out asking if I would loan her. No, absolutely not. A gal offers zero ROI. These days, a pocket pussy is more affordable and loving to you. Well said, brother. Primo's back. Good to see you, brother. I was on your channel the other day. Legendary John Boston is here again. Good to see you. He knows something about investing, women, the courts, attorneys. And would he do it again? No! But that woman that's divorced, that ex-wife is like, please! Out golfing in the heat, Timmy Kramer, the forever bachelor. He's playing with little balls out on the greens, isn't he? Men believe they have an emotional capital investing in a relationship, but women don't respect that. They will walk away with zero accountability. 100%. 98% not recommended, and they do walk away. And they don't care. They don't care if you went down to -0. They just find another simp. Singletown Bachelor is in the house. Good to see you, brother. All the way up in Northern Europe. It's men's fault? I would agree with that statement. She blew $250K in less than 3 years. I bet mine has blown quite a bit of it. Not as much as most women. She has a decent job, but I guarantee she's spending a lot of what she brings in. Today's gals are legal prosties, all the rights, all the entitlements, but belong only in one place, in the streets. Singletown Bachelor. He ain't getting married. Rad, I was just playing some car songs. I was trying out some Roland samples instead of doing my honey-do list. I will email what cool. The Cars. Rick Ocasek for 300. Trebek. Drive is one of my favorite songs by the Cars. It took me 8 years to recover from my divorce. Great month for a decade. This month, bought myself a T-bone steak and top shelf whiskey. Yamazaki whiskey for 300. Trebek. Hell no, Johnny Walker. You get Yamazaki, the Japanese whiskey. Big Vegas is back. I'm over relationships with women. It's overrated. That right there is probably the most significant comment. It's overrated. Yes, very few women are worth it, 1 to 2%, and they still are females. It's always men's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. It all starts with a diamond ring. That's just the starting gun on rating your finances. Yes. Knew a guy that proposed with a cubic zirconium. It was $100. Looked like a normal ring. And she went and got it appraised behind his back, and then divorced him. A rich man in a relationship has everything to lose and nothing to gain. A woman marrying a rich man has nothing to lose but everything to gain. Rich, laying it down to Chinatown. Well said. Guys, we're getting some good comments. So what would you do with that money? Well, you wouldn't spend it like crazy. I guarantee if you make, as a single guy, $60,000 a year, you live in a 1,200 square foot, 1,200 a month apartment, you could sock away 15 to 20 grand a year. In 10 years, that's $250,000. With interest and everything, probably 400. Another 10 years on top of that, 700. You're done by 50. Singletown says, no matter what we do, it's our fault. We don't believe that anymore, do we, boys? Was it Chris Rock that said a man would F a woman in a cardboard box if he could? I think it was, Slam. I started saying it's always Jermaine's fault. People think I made it up. Who hasn't heard of it? I actually saw that clip. I looked it up on YouTube. It's always Jermaine's fault. Some crazy black lady going crazy. Divorce in 2009. I'm not getting fleeced again. 15 years. How long did it take Singletown to get back on his feet? Men, we are born with a target on our backs. Learn from others. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Red Pill 101. Shaka Nulu. The symbol don't mean shit because it ain't expensive. Where are you from? 100 richest women in the world. 98 got their wealth through divorce, husband's death, or family inheritance. Or showing their body. Well said, Stephen. You silly man, getting married twice is as good as letting a dog bite you twice. And the same dog. Good to see Radical Rafter in the chat. So it took, so that's 10 years, right? We talked about it. Probably 8 to 10 years for a guy to recover from divorce. And now he's had 5 years of pretty decent peace, quiet, and freedom. Yeah, I'm about 9 years. Going on 9 years here in November. And yeah, I think I bounced back rather quickly. I would say a good 4 to 6 years, but most men recover in that time frame. Been good, brother. How are you? Tell me what's going on with Shaka Nulu. Took me over 10 years to get over divorce. Financially, never again. 10 fucking years. When you met a woman, just kneel down and ask her to marry you and give out one of these. $69. There you go. It takes just minutes to get married, but years to get divorced. Oh, doesn't it? It's all set up. It's a business. Vegas, I was supposed to come back to Utah well, next time you're in Utah, let me know, brother. One, divorce sucks, but I cannot wrap around men on their fourth. What's the curiosity? It's a lot of it's religion. They feel guilty if they're not legally accepted in society by a marriage license. And so the curiosity, this one's different. Our love is like no other. Please. That's what they're saying. I don't think Joseph is married, but yeah, 10 years, guys. Look at, let's just take a look at Dr. Dre, Mr. Andre Drummond. Is that his name? $800 million, almost $1 billion. The guy has a goddamn stroke because of the divorce he was going through. The guy has plenty of mother effing money, still affecting him, still weakened him enough to put him in the hospital. I think he got out of it in a good, because I think he was worth $1 billion or almost close. I think he paid her $200 million, so he kept 800 mil. 25% is not bad, guys. It's always men's fault. Check out the Horde of Covet and Overt Simp, helping gals earn Ream Boys and Men. Oh, these women are on transparent videos talking about fleecing men. I'm sucking O2 and I feel fine. And I feel fine. She's different. She loves me. She's not like anybody else. She's not like that. She'll never leave me. She loves me. Please. When you sign that 3x5 paper at the church, get saved at the church and at City Hall. When a woman goes in the attorney's office, they ask for the marriage license. It's funny. I opened up my marriage license. We never signed it. When you are on top, you can see other countries like I did. Been to Italy twice, 22. Yeah. That video you did with Italy was great, brother. Stardust and Barbarossa had a piece on it back in the day called The Male Desire for Unfreedom. Yeah, I was a big fan of Barbarossa and Stardust. Those guys are great. No marriage license, no lawsuit for divorce. Well said. To quote another, control your biology, they will have no power over you. But men, it's difficult to think with your larger head, not your smaller head. We 80% of men will get caught up below their belt. Never freely invite the government and state in your life, not for anyone or anything. You don't want to ever be in the courts, right, PH? PH is in England. He knows. It's not the money, it's the principle. Yes. I don't understand it either, especially the snake oil salesman like Bulldog Mindset and Eddie Haskins and Rollo Tomato. Me neither, bro. Me neither. They're just fleecing men to tell them how to get more ladies. Exactly right. I'm married. I am married now. I want more children. Thank God that my wife doesn't want a divorce. She is pregnant now. It's worth it according to having children. Well, make it work, man. As the Apostle Paul says in Corinthians, those that are married, stay married. Those that are single, stay single. And whatever you do, stay present. Stay present. Never try to fix them. We never signed it. I looked at it. None of us signed it. She didn't sign it. I didn't sign it. I don't know. But we would have been common law, so it really doesn't matter at this point. We signed it. I don't know how that we got past it. The two witnesses signed it, but yeah. Men should know better, yet they still play stupid because they think with their larger head. That's our problem. Men are the problem. We let our biology and our curiosity control the fantasy. We don't let it control the reality. The reality is this: you dip your wiener in crazy, you will suffer financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and most likely physically. You're effed. Timmy says he's been tuned in since 2016. Society has definitely changed, and men are waking up. More and more men are waking up. Absolutely. It's so bad now, says Delhart. Good to see you, and only getting worse. If the world is close to the end and the second coming of Christ happens, it's looking pretty close to that now. Maybe in the next 5 to 8 years. Good to see you, brother. It's very simple. They give the power to the woman because women are easily enticed, and they give the woman the power to get the family. Probate court. Stay out of courts. Just stay under the radar. Just stay under the radar. Life ain't nothing but money and beaches, biatches. When you understand that, you understand life. Absolutely. Why is it so hard to men to grasp the fact that if you take a trip by yourself to Italy, like Singletown, or Egypt, like FJT, or Timmy Kramer to San Diego, that you can have an amazing life without a lady involved? It blows me away that men cannot, the majority of men cannot be alone. Hey, we respect you, Joseph. You've been here for a long time. Saw the world on the Army plan, 3 countries in 4 years. And yes, the grass is greener in other pastures. Don't rush when it comes to dealing with women. Well said. That's the truth. I was out one night and was talking to these women, just left. The woman I was talking to said to her friend, these guys just walk away. What the F? They were pissed. Well, yeah, because they think that every woman, I've seen women at the gym, going into the gym, going into the soda pop fountain, going into the store, and they're like literally looking to make sure guys are looking at them. Fatties, uglies, non-binaries, whatever, old ladies, prunes. And they're always looking for men. You're watching men to look at them. I've never noticed it now until the last like 3 years. It's gotten worse. These women literally are entitled. They're princesses, all of them. We sign our lives off to compromise our thirst just for dwindling nookie. Dwindling nookie for 300. Fred Durst. Enoch is back. Good to see you, brother. Pugneti. When you get to 60, you can look at women and just think, what a complete waste of money and time. You do. It begins to make sense as you get older. Well said, brother. I went to South Carolina by myself and hung out at the Isle of Palms. It was great. Absolutely, man. Some of my favorite times are me alone traveling with nowhere to go, not understanding the area, and finding peace, quiet, and freedom. And adventure. Enoch's alone and stress-free. Attaboy. The majority of men can't live alone with a gal, but they sure willing to die for a country that hates boys and men. Isn't that the truth, Project AZ? Nobody likes fatties. When I grew up and went to school, fat women were invisible. If Cackles and Tampon Tim win, they're going to pass laws that men who wear dresses are women and tell guys who have to date them. Clown World for 300 Trebek. That blue pill conditioning starts very early with romantic comedy, soaps, love songs, and fairy tales. That's why it's so hard for most men to break free of the fantasy. Well said, Marvel Elite. Well said. I remember I met this gal, and she said by the age of 5 years old, she had a journal, a diary, and she was writing about her future husband. Hey, I guess onward and upward, right? But and how that guy would be and how he would treat her and everything. They live in the fantasy. They love the romantic comedies, just like Marvel said. Looking for some land in New Hampshire. How are the taxes out there, brother? Yes, Singletown, I'm saying female entitlement syndrome or female validation syndrome, FVS, or female overweight syndrome, FOS, or I'm a princess syndrome, IPS. In Boston, our revolution started by Bernie, is what Cackles and Tampon Tim are all about. These are Marxists, do not vote Democrat, the party. Yeah. But people are stupid, man. People are stupid. These bull ring women wearing women and purple, pink, green colored hair and copper cabs and all those wimpy soy boys. I won't be protecting them if there's some civil blank. Even the best women are only worth a few hours of your time. That's it. Don't buy or own one. Taxes in New Hampshire are higher than Mass, but there are no state taxes. Okay. Well, if you can make some dough off it. By the way, John, we need to do a stream about investments for men, following the S&P 500 or maybe a bond index at 10%, maybe an international growth fund. So men can put that money to work. Suzanne Fleming from Florida. Hang out with your friends, hunting, fishing, riding your Harley. Attaboy. Attagirl. Absolutely. I mean, men find peace, joy, quiet, and freedom hanging out, doing the things they love. So that brings me to a thought. Thank you, Suzanne, for that. Singletown, the Lizzo syndrome. Unfortunately, Harley has gone a little woke now, Singletown, especially with their electric motorcycle. To quote Hemingway, men and women should only be together from the hours of 12 and 6 a.m. But what I want to say is this. I lost my train of thought. When I was going through my divorce, nothing sounded fun. I didn't like listening to music, skateboarding, playing my guitar. It's like I lost. I was so involved in the pain of the breakup, the rejection, the going forth, the custody, the lawyer. I just didn't have a lot. And I had to take my own advice, which was I had to move. I had to get out and do stuff. And once I started doing that, life improved immensely. And it baby steps. Started going back to the gym. Started seeing my body change. Started eating pretty good. Started riding my bike, playing guitar. Started learning more. I have gotten much better in guitar in the last 9 years than I was in the previous 20. Okay, selling options for income. Well, we should do a stream sometime for that. Maybe John Boston, Timmy on real estate. That'd be good. It doesn't matter what you do, how good you look, or how much money you make. At the end of the day, the game is rigged and the world is staged. Staying single is the best option for men today. It's the best option for having peace, quiet, and freedom. 100%, Del Hart. Good for you saying that. Single town. I do like the old Indians. I do like it. Indians started up, 10 years ago? And I think the Scout 60 up. I thought that thing was pretty cool, but too many crazies out here in Utah, and I don't want to get hit. You're absolutely right, John. I worked out of the house. I think that caused the divorce. We were around each other too much. And then the marriage will. You can't avoid the marriage will. The marriage will is completely 100% correct. If you don't know what the marriage will is, it's Greg Adams' marriage will. He talks about from the butterflies from the first time you saw her till the end and everything that happens in between. If she pushes back on a man saying no, then run. She will bleed you dry and to the bone otherwise. Laying it down at Chinatown. Pete. Just having women in your house will cause drama and strife. Men and women look, back in the day, and by the way, the marriage will is great. Big John did the Board of Truth as well. That was the original marriage will. But the reality is this: men and women used to sleep in separate rooms back when. The I Love Lucy. And they had separate lives. Women took care of the house, nurtured the kids. A man's plowing the field, takes the kids at 6, 8, 9, 10 years old after they finish 6th grade, or not 12, and then they go to the fields and learn to be a man. Life has changed once the factories moved in. Men went to the factories, women stayed home and gossiped all day. I mean, it's just a natural progression of what happened. Boredom. I see women my age who are divorced and go online and talk about how the dating market is so terrible. These women had lots of guys in their 20s. Now they're shocked men see the game in their 50s. Isn't that funny? We start seeing things differently as we age. And it doesn't really sink in with a lot of gals. Char. It owes you money, guys. There you go. Phil. Lucy, you got some explaining to do. Al said, Phil. Remember when Ricky spanked Lucy? Spanking was a big thing. If you don't believe me, look it up. Men spanked their wives if they got out of control. When I would come home, my ex towards the end was just picking arguments out of nowhere. I don't need that crap. Well, same with me. Same with me. And you're absolutely right, brother. Like is still today has truth. Not my quote, but it's fact. Relationship, marriage in 2024 and beyond. Man's attempt to prevent a woman from returning to the carousel. Attempt to prevent a boring woman from getting bored. I mean, Wes from 5 Years of Freedom's always said marriage was to be able to lock up that woman so he had her box locked up. Nobody else could access it. Well said. Even daughters can financially exploit fathers. They learn from their exploitive mother. Yeah, mine's like that. The key, I think, is that we just accept what reality teaches us. And if we don't accept it, we don't learn from it. I made it my business, even relatives to my mom and sisters, I don't want to cohabitate with gals at all. They are harpies. I just don't think men and women can cohabitate. I just don't really think that. I don't think it's good. I've owned a dozen homes and have never hung a picture or blemished the walls in any of them. I lean my pics against the wall. No spackle for Timmy. Is that what you're saying? No spackle. I love Lucy is on Google TV. Now I have to watch some of those reruns, but they don't have the ones the men speak. Of course not. Think about this. Pat Benatar does not sing Hit Me With Your Best Shot, her number one hit ever, because it has to do with domestic alligators. Not a bad idea, right, Shaka? Marriage equals hugest paid hookahs. It's a transaction, guys. It doesn't matter if you're paying it at the Mustang Ranch in Reno or you're married. There's a transaction to get in the box. It's as simple as that. Hey, using the house, a woman spanked Betty Page. There are articles written in all these these women magazines about literally. You can go and Google men's. Maybe Google's watched it, but there are advertisements how women need to behave so their husbands don't spank them into submission. I've read them. It's crazy. I got to find one. I'll put it up for a thumbnail sometime. Pablo's back. My grandparents spent all their lives together, but sleeping on different bedrooms. He would smack her when needed. It was a different world back then. It was a different world back then. I guarantee most of the men that spanked their wives are still together or were together. I got spanked. My dad had a belt and a stick. He spanked us all when we got out of line. And I respect my father like nobody's business. Was I scared of him? Absolutely. The rule of thumb. Betty was hot. Betty Page admitted. There you go. To learn from your mistakes is manhood. To learn from other mistakes is divine. 100%. Betty might have taken all the Coomers. She was probably the first 304. If you can afford to throw money away, you can afford a woman. But how, total facts right there, Brother John. How do you, but I'm the type that if I lose $5 in a slot machine, it pisses me off. Right? But guys that have multi-billions that can they don't give a damn. Yeah. Like bozos and Bill Hates. I completely decide to live my life emancipating myself from these gals and their bull shizzle huggers paid hookahs. They are hookahs. You will get PHUC, all these all slutty. Well, you made your mind up, Project. Your life's a lot better. Pedro's back. Good to see you. The red pill is bitter, but it's damn worth it. It's not easy to digest. And most men that watch these channels, a lot of them haven't digested. They won't swallow it. You can take it, but you got to swallow it. You got to let it pass through your system. But men say, oh, I've got this red pill knowledge. I'm going to go back in the dating and I've got this foundation that it's going to be even better. I'm going to hold frame. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a big fan when I lose money to scammer. I just don't like losing money. I don't know. Maybe it's something in my childhood. Yeah, shout out to the new folks in the chat as well that are listening. Google men spanking women advertising. Amazing. Yeah, I'm surprised they're still out there. I mean, they can scrub all of the Donald J material, all of the attempts in Butler, but they keep some of these advertisements up. Do you know what's a funny advertisement? Canadian Club. Go Google Canadian Club whiskey advertisements from the 70s. Somebody should go Google it right now. And there's one that says the guy's sitting in front of his brown creeper van, and it says, your mom wasn't your first, your dad's first. Just lays it down at Chinatown. Total 304 exploitation. It's a bitter, bloody pill, but it's the truth. Well said, Phil. The red pill ain't shit. It's all about the black pill. Men have a hard time being a moral pragmatist. Sometimes I have a little black pill in me, but I have to accept reality. I deal with women all the time. You have to hold frame and use tactical soap. It's strange how a good man who has simply got married becomes a criminal, and they say so of a dissatisfied woman who breaks all the terms of the contract and is rewarded for it. Well said. Said Pete. I think Trump wants a free market. I don't know about that question. I don't know. Maybe it's never been brought up. I know he believes the states should regulate a lot of that stuff. Look what happened to Oregon. They legalized all the drugs, and it's just a shit show. My home state. To this day, I'm very bullish, very, very bullish about Trump being shot. Then Brandon drops out a few days. It's all just wacky, isn't it? It's just so weird what's going on. Illegal severance pay, well said. And if they have to pay palimony, they go nuts. They call you, you're not a man if a woman has to pay you. See, it always works until it doesn't, right? Tell it how it is, and you're an a-hole. You know, going back to Shaka's comment, I think a lot of MGTOW is black pill. I think the red pill is just the gate that opens up what reality is versus fantasy. And then a man decides, based on that knowledge, hey, the fantasy was getting married, having kids, expecting this marriage to work out, to have access to the box, a wonderful love, a committed, loyal, respectful relationship. The reality, it doesn't happen like that. So a man chooses later in life, does he want to deal with women at all? And if he doesn't want to deal with women at all, I think a lot of men are black pilled. We have men in this chat that consider themselves MGTOW, but you know, they do follow that idea that they just don't talk to them. It went to hell, but the mad vaxies ruined it most. Yep. And now they're trying to move the other one, the pox in. Brandon Trueblood is back. Women don't get to define men. Here's Brandon. Brandon won't even allow ladies on his channel. Good to see Brandon. He's out driving every day. He's got a live stream, 12 hours, all day long. Men tune into it all day long. Good to see you again. Your channel is growing again. If your woman knows that you can get other women, they are more likely to stay out of reality. When a woman knows that you have options, of course, yes. Tom Likas talks about that. Agreed, a colorless slavery. CJ says red pill is blue pill. I think a lot of people just won't swallow the red pill. Few MGTOW really, they're still waiting like fools for laws. Yeah, I agree with that statement. Brad, I'm a no pill. My transition from the black and white, all I need is one truth. We all die alone. Everything else is cope. You're not wrong. A man can protect and love a woman without the help of the government. Well said, Pete. Look up scene in Outlander when the dude spanks the main chick. Modern women love that part of the show. I'll have to check it out, brother. No women, no skills. Females, for the most part, are born black pill. Well, yeah, and solipsistic. Look up solipsism. That's their religion. It's mixing into a purple pill hybrid. The way I live is this. No belief in goofy chemicals, no cohabitation, no marriage, no taking on other people's resources, no taking on other kids, and risk and reward must be strategically understood. Fred Stone, good to see you, brother. Like the idea of looking into investments for a new beginning and a basic overall understanding. I work in finance. If you'd like to share some ideas, let me know. Awesome, brother. Where's Travis been? Haven't seen that cat for a while. Brad, you are correct, but some cope is needed to offset insanity. Yes. He's talking to Brandon. Well said. There's True Bloods. Thanks for putting that up, Char. No kilts. Yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of guys say, you know, wait for the laws to change. That'll do nothing. The issue is, Tro, good to see you, brother. The programming is all set in stone. The world war, I mean, I completely disagree with a lot of guys that say, once the laws change and there's a World War III, the women are gay. No, they're not. They're not. They might, for a temporary potential of having resources provided for them, they're going to have to give up the box and act like they like you. But at the end of the day, the programming is still there. The programming has been around in technology for 24 years. First time we got our cell phones was in 2000s. April of 2000, I remember. We got AudioVox cell phones on like Voice Stream. Then we shared 300 minutes between us. That was it. That's when it all started. But the programming is still there. It's not going away, ever. Waiting for mid-century lie to come back. That's what I'm talking about. It was only a decade of the good old days. It's not going back. These women are not going to cook for you, give you the box whenever, be respected. The programming is so ingrained, it's never going back. It's not going back to the 50s. In fact, it only get worse. The only binding contract with no known terms and conditions before you sign marriage. Well said. The women will give up to the victors. Look at Germany in World War II and I. Well said, Joseph. Terms of marriage, debt, madness, gaslighting, and insanity, and the drugs they take, the head meds. Yeah. The programming is already built. It's not going away. That's why people say, that's why literally November is going to be the most crucial month ever in the history of the United States. You think all these non-Skittles and these whatever they are and the entitlement and the feministic thinking is going to come back because somebody dropped a Hiroshima lookalike? Look what the Ukrainian women were doing. They were on Tinder trying to get the Russian soldiers in their bed. They wanted the Russian chats in war. Good to see Bookshelf, brother. Glad you are here. The key is find the cope and offer the most advantageous ROI for a guy. Gals, alcohol, and other drugs, even being a blind consumer, all copes. Well said, brother. Laying it down to Chinatown. Simone from Italy is in the house. Good to see you. But again, it's not changing. The laws aren't changing. These people are like, no, we just got to get the women to not vote anymore. No. Women can vote. They will always be able to vote. You know, if I could wave a wand, it would be like only homeowners can vote, as it used to be. To this day, I think I have a couple of male friends who voted for Stillery. I cannot deal with these men who support. It makes me sick. Women don't. Exactly. A man that votes, that's not a man to me. That's a man. That is a man with a feminine interior. Russian Chat, new band. There you go. They were called Felt Madresser, field mattresses. There you go. The red pill is truth and logic. Embrace it or get ready for pain and sorrow. It's reality. That's all it is. It's reality. Blue pill is fantasy. The world is gynocentric. Only a few can actually not participate. Yeah. I mean, unless you go to some civilization, go to Papua New Guinea. You want a bride? Go to Papua New Guinea. No, that there are tribes out there that'll they friggin' I think they're cannibals or something like that. They don't mess around. Or that one place off the country of India, can't remember the name of it, where that Christian pastor went out and he thought he was gonna like spread the biblical gospel and he got shot. Go there. If you don't want any programming, go there. Elon is going to do another interview with Trump. Liberals are losing their mind. I thought that was a great interview. I mean, I thought it was just them talking. 1 billion views. They try to stop it. CJ, relationships or GAY, you ain't got no alibi. So don't be like that. Well said. George is in the house. Good to see you. Well said. Can't be so-called red pill and blue here on the other continents. Nino, soulmate, roommate, cellmate. Run for the hills, boys. I don't blame you a damn bit. Where is Nino from? You are new, it looks like. Soulmate, roommate, cellmate. Yeah. See where you're going with that. So that's the reality. We waste a lot of money. We waste a lot of time, energy, attention. And what do we get in the end? Now, I wouldn't be here without what I've been through. So there's part of me that appreciates the bullshit I had to endure. I have also a love and hate relationship with doing that. And I also say this. If 1996 showed up, I would jump in it again. 1996 for the win. I would get back in a time machine. I have no problem with that. Monk mode for the win, says Brandon. We got another Canadian. We got Chris Mitchell right now, who's Canadian. Got a lot of Canadians in here. I heard that Canada just passed a law that if you sell your business, you have to pay the government, 66%? That Trudeau. Appreciate you all being here. But the reality is this. You got to put yourself first. You got to put yourself first. You cannot put the fantasy first. You got to put yourself first. Women in 2024 is like trying to find a new unused car in a wrecking yard. And if you do find that new one, it's wrecked and repainted. All facts, nothing but trade-offs. Nothing is perfect. Nino says, I'm old-fashioned. I take care of my man. I feel bad for these boys. Well, good for you. We do have women in this chat. I do deal with several women. Lisa Smith, one of them. She actually watches these channels in Kansas City if she's listening today. Shout out. Suzanne was in here earlier. But there are women that watch this to help their sons navigate. They don't want their sons with what they're seeing in the market. So there are some that do not enjoy that, but I do believe that there are women that watch this for the reality of life. There's also women trolls, but as long as you're respectful, you're good to go. 93 was a good year. 93 had some good tunes too, brother. Used car, lots of Bondo, and new paint. Bondo for 300. I remember putting Bondo on my 1969 510. Oh, that was a pain in the ass. Breaking. A 5-4 decision. SCOTUS has struck down the Biden-Harris rewrite of the title. Oh, good. Good. They want Skittles. Remember, the globalists, if you listen to Alex Jones, I don't care what you think about him, but there is an agenda. It's to weaken society, and especially men. Thanks for being here, John. He's out there pressure washing. You guys want to learn how to build a business? Go to John's channel. I have a few in my chat from time to time. Most of them I know personally. Yeah, I mean, I look, if you're respectful and you understand and you're using information, there's nothing wrong with it. I graduated high school in 1990. There was a Jesuit all-boys high school. We'd go to the games, and they were financed by Nike. Phil Knight's kids went to a Jesuit high school in Beaverton. There you go. And we would say this. Landscaping at home. Thanks for loving the channel. We'd say, hey, watch your hiney. We'd yell it at them. Why? Because it was an all-boys school. Like, soap on the rope. Thanks, Nino, for saying that. We'd say, hey, everybody, watch your hiney, because we're the class of 1990. The male nature for us to have children is strong. Of course. We want to extend our seed. There's nothing wrong with believing that. You can put paint and shiny and wheels on an old taxi, but underneath it's an old taxi, and with their seat covers too. Every time I get in this taxi, I look at, they redid the seats again. They're like plastic hard seats. Joseph, we do risk it all. Doing Bondo on his Carmen Ghia. I remember I dated a gal with Carmen Ghia, and it only went in like 3 gears, but we made out and it was great. I like Carmen Ghias. Those are dope. 100% Trog. Two biological men won the women's boxing in the Olympics, right? Just watched the CEO of Marley. Or you mean Harley? Marley. I don't know what you mean. Saw this group on X. Twifties for Trump. I had a problem with someone I left a comment on someone who was saying that Jason Aldean, a big country star, he plays a lot of outlaw country, which is like heavy guitars and stuff. And he was offered $500 million to do a duet with Taylor Twitt, and he turned it down. He's like, I'm not dealing with, she's woke, anti-man. So I wrote in the comment, she's worthless. She writes anti-male feminist lyrics for Skittles and non-binaries to only weaken society, and she has a poor record of picking men. And now this woman got all mad at me. Oh, you sound bitter. So I wrote back. I shouldn't have written back because I gave her attention, but I said, you sound like an angry Karen. Been self-employed for 3 years now, mercenary monk to the highest bidder. Well said. Phil says, get the hiney in 1990. We always said, you Jesuit, because it was a Catholic all-boys school. It had great football, baseball, basketball teams because they were financed basically by Nike. But we beat him one year, and he was so pissed, Phil Knight, who started Nike. That's where I grew up, Beaverton, Oregon, Nike. I don't wear it because it's too woke. We will continue out. That is human nature. Yep, and she is programmed. And I don't find her attractive. She's a butterface. People are like, man, she's not cute at all. Her face is butter. No way. Decent body, but she got implants. She probably laser, like as George or Greg Adams says, Carl's Jr. star. Think about this. I bought tickets for my daughter when she was 11 years old and her mother to go to Taylor Twit. And they came back, oh, she's so good for these young girls. What a role model. She preaches, independence and being happy. And I'm like, and then what does she become? Going to grandma's house and sitting on those hard couches. They didn't have a lot of money. My grandparents didn't have a lot of money. Jason Aldean, yeah, respect that guy. Sometimes you have to let you live rent-free in their heads. Yep, well said, Shaka. Total butterface. Mark Minavirli did a poll on X. Who would run the country better? I cannot believe anyone 30% would even think Heels Up Harris would do a good job. Worthless. Well said, Drogue. I don't even mention that wax name, Twit. She looks like a gelfling from, yes, Brandon, well said. Man, not attractive. She made $1 billion, but she made a deal with the devil, too. Joseph says, no thanks, black women is where it is for me, big booties and beautiful skin. Black don't crack. It's the thing about black folks, man, they don't get wrinkles and skin cancer like these whites. They look good if they take care of themselves. These 7-year-olds look like they're 40. Her parents is millionaires when started and still is. Yeah, done her parents, they look pretty normy too. Well, hey, whatever your preference is, good for you, brother. If she stands by you and respects you and she's not mouthy, good for you. Me neither. Timothy says, Twit is an entitled feminist. Yep. I mean, look. Good for her success. You don't never want to hurt on someone's success. But how did she get there? She could have made a deal with the devil, most likely. I mean, how does a gal go in 15 years to be the biggest pop star ever and have like almost $2 billion? Asian persuasion, says Phil. Replacing Biden with heels up is like changing your hat after pooping your pants. Brandon Trueblood for 300. Trueblood, please. But guys, you want a life that's peace, quiet, and freedom? Really understand. No belief in these wacky chemicals. No belief in marriage. No belief in cohabitation. No kids. No resource providing. You are not UNICEF to them. If you want to hang out, know the risks and the rewards. Simple as that. If you don't want to hang out, even better. Even better. That's more time you have to yourself. Taylor is attractive when she uses the industrial strength makeup. Look doesn't matter, though. Character is everything. Actions speak louder than words, right, George? Black ladies, Asian ladies, white, or Latinas, it's all levels of the same PhD. Keep partaking in their poon hustle. Remove all the women's skin, and they all have the same body parts. Just different sizes, smells, touches, and so forth. Well said, Project. Heels Up Hair is what we call her, Phil. When you master the red pill, you relate, it's just that. It ain't all that. Yeah. I mean, when you truly understand that the box you're getting is very similar to the box most gals have, you understand it's not on a pedestal anymore. And especially with men. For the most part, most men's appendages are very similar in size. So when a woman has had one or two or three, she kind of understands what she's getting on the fourth. I'm not putting anyone down. It's just reality. Megan Fox was very attractive, but she's nuts. Are you saying Poopy Pants Biden? Poor guy got pushed out of his own party. Talk about non-loyalty. They are a lib band. There was a Trump doll they beat up on. Yeah, any band that hates, like, whatever. And you think that these rock and roll bands, most of their audience are red-blooded men that like to drive fast cars and shoot lead and eat red meat and drink whole milk? Well said, Phil. It's all pink in the inside, said Shaka. Exactly. Green Day, another friggin' puss band. Shout out to rest in peace to Jack Russell of Great White. He passed away, 2 days ago. I saw Great White multiple times. He definitely had a weird, at the end of the day, a lot of them are all AWOL. Emancipation of boys and men, if you don't use as a slave to your third, no better than a simp and disposable to other men. Well said. I mean, Nirvana was Skittles. They were libtard. Nothing special. They all have the kitty, right? It's just, again, once you've had three, you've had them all. It's just reality, and it goes on both sides. Latex, meat, and guns. Metallica, except that little friggin' Lars and the guitarist Kurt. Is it Kurt, the guy with the long black hair? He's got a very soft. But James Hetfield, that guy's voting for Trump. Yeah, rest in peace to Jack Russell. He still had a good voice in the end. Megan is very attractive. Her personality is not. She's lib. What do you call that useless flesh around a bag? Oh, come on, Timothy. You're mean. Please don't say that. Ted Nugent's another one of us. Yep. I was in Rhode Island a couple days after the club went up in flames. Oh, that was so devastating. Great White was the band. Yep. I think they got fined $1 million a piece for that. 100 people died, 200 escaped. I think one of the guys in Great White passed away in that as well. Timmy says, Paul Stanley from Kiss. I'm Paul Stanley from Kiss. We're from New York. Saw Kiss in 2010 with Buck Cherry. And he's like, hello, Portland. We're Kiss from New York. We haven't been here from the 70s. I'm Paul Stanley. Hello, Portland. No surprise, Timmy. Female nature is universal, says Brandon. Well said. Brandon says the Ukrainian women are the most hottest in the world. What say ye? I bet he's right. James got buff. Yes, he did. No offense to the women, of course. Yeah. We don't. 1% to 2% of women are decent women. Don't forget Pearl Jam. Totally woke. ITR, good to see you. After 15 minutes, 98% are not recommended. Nino says, women have not advanced past craft dinner, Max Factor, and thongs. And twerking, right? In my opinion, she says. Well said. Yeah. Max Factor for 300. The original makeup guy in Hollywood. That's what his name was. Max Factor. Staying away from delusional apps made me less awkward around girls. You want to mess with your head? Go on a dating site and believe in it. They had a drunken pyro accident. Dude gave pyrotechnics a bad name. Something happened. Definitely a devastating, one of the most devastating situations ever in entertainment history. Ukraine women, very attractive. Station nightclub was grandfathered in to not have sprinklers. Interesting. I think Ukrainian women are very, and Russian women, Polish women. There's something about that Slavic blood. Yes, I'm going to agree with that statement, Trog. I've seen very attractive women, and then they show pictures of their mother, and the mother looked like prunes. They like the age. They can maintain their beauty for maybe longer than Western gals with the white and blue eyes, but they definitely age quicker in the end. But it might be the vodka. Who knows? Most women haven't matured past child mentality. You might not be wrong. Guys, when a woman has a hysterectomy and then go out and try to date, it's not fun for any man. I believe mine had one, but they did not remove the ovaries. She did have one because I took my son there the next day. The Alabama Secretary of State just discovered thousands of non-citizens registered to vote in November's election. Interesting. Breaking news by Singletown Bachelor. Being sarcastic. And then nothing will be done about it. Ukrainian women have been 70% unfaithful to their husbands fighting the war. Brandon Trueblood. He would know because he lived in Ukraine. Too big to rig is what they're saying. From North Alabama. Well, people are watching this time. Czech women seem to be very beautiful. I think all Turkish women, sure. That area, there's something in the water. Singletown Bachelor. I don't know what that means. The cursed ugly one. I feel great not giving ladies attention and satisfaction they want, and they wonder why. Where have all the good guys have gone? Tell me where you are from, and I would agree with that statement. Women love attention. 98% of women are not recommended. There are 1 to 2% that do not crave attention in that way, but the majority do. You are not mistaken, brother. To quote Lycus, men age like wine and women age like milk. 2020 had over 35 million more votes than registered voters, and you bet FJT got all those 35. Of course. Don't mention the system, the electronic system, or you'll get sued. Men age like Sean Connery and women age like Sean Connery. That's a good one. Please be nice. A coral snake is pretty also. What does Singletown Bachelor think? Up in his country. What do we think about his country? Turkish ladies all have mustaches and unibrow. There's probably more of a Muslim bloodline within the Turkish women than, say, because isn't Turkey south, closer to more of the Muslim areas? I've never been over there. I wouldn't mind going for like a month in Europe. Libtard Commie, California with Gavin Newscomb. Be safe out there, brother. Amazon tree frogs, beautiful and poison. What does the praying mantis teach us about modern dating techniques? They will bite your head off once you put your seed in them. Could be physically, but most of it being financially, mentally, and emotionally. George Costanza, total beta male, but he is funny. I am sorry, guys, but disagree. Whether on looks or personality, both gals post 25 are just spoiled milk. They become worse with every passing year. And, a lot of these gals are head matted up. They're drinking more, so they look even worse, even 22, 23. All women age like Dr. Ruth. I'll check that article out. Turkey is a Muslim country. I heard it's beautiful, though. My country is not a democracy. It ended in 1993. I need to go over that maybe for 3 months. America had freedom until Kennedy was sacrificed. Kennedy was literally more conservative than the modern day Republican today. He didn't want the war. He wanted to avoid the Cuban Missile Crisis. Go read about it. They took him out because he wasn't a warmonger. Trump does not want war. Who wants war? The party of, we love everybody. Please be nice to everybody. Please. And yet they're starting bloodshed and allowing bloodshed. Those Republicans, they're the party of war. They went after the weapons of mass blank. Please. By the way, that's my new one, please. With my Trebek. Phil says, Biden wants war for 300 Trebek. Should try one of his pickup lines. There you go. But that is the reality. Guys, it's been a great stream. Wasting money on women, wasting money on marriage, relationships. These chemicals you think are love do not exist. You will spend a lifetime, 10 years at least, building back. If you understand she's just yours, she's just your turn, modern day female nature is something to be understood, not to be hated. Male nature needs to be understood. We need to understand that males spent and wasted money chasing a dream, a fantasy. That's male nature too. Well, I appreciate that, Timothy. Yep. Things are moving. I think it's going to be sold in the next 6 to 8 weeks. Thanks, Brandon, for being here. Check out his streaming every day on his channel. Libs of TikTok and Clown Horror are full comedy. I just love watching these guys just expose the delusion. I'm not a huge JFK fan, although he was right on something. He said the CIA should be ripped to pieces. Regardless of, his history or whatnot, he did not want war. And that's it. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you on the next one. I'm out. Stay busy. Stay out of trouble. Stay out of the swamp. Rebel against defeat. Peace.